When one man heard a strange shriek on a rainy night, he decided to investigate. The noise led him out into his yard in the middle of a rainstorm, and that's when he realized that the piercing cries were coming from his shed roof. Ray Vargas was born and bred in Boyle Hearts, Los Angeles. And following a brief stint in Laguna, California, where Vargas attended art college, he returned to live in the town. Now he makes his living there working as an artist. Consequently, Vargas works from home, and considering his job is not your average 9 to 5, he can work whenever inspiration strikes him. As a result, he is often awake late into the night. On one such evening, Vargas was in his bedroom when he heard cries coming from outside. It was pouring down with rain in his backyard, and the artist worried that something was in trouble. So he decided to take a peek through the glass and see what was going on. At first, Vargas struggled to see anything through the lashings of rain. However, the noise didn't go away, so he followed the sound and ventured outside into the middle of his yard. That's when Vargas came across a tiny little kitten caught in the deluge. I found him on a rainy night, abandoned on the roof of the shed in my backyard, Vargas later told Love Meow. I just followed his meowing. He couldn't work out the age of the cat, which was yet to open its eyes, and he wasn't able to see the mother anywhere, either. As a result, Vargas decided that he would have to act fast if the animal was to survive. Vargas consequently brought the animal into the warmth of his home. This little orphan did not appreciate being left out in the rain, he said. So, I picked up a kitten feeder kit complete with formula and bottle. After all, the kitten was so tiny that it was likely that it was still nursing. Vargas, then, had to step in as its adoptive parent. He fed the cat with a syringe throughout the night and constantly made sure it was warm and cozy. Thankfully, Vargas' efforts soon paid off. In fact, the kitten survived the night and soon regained its appetite, so Vargas took the cat on its first trip to the vet. There, he discovered that the little fur baby weighed less than an ounce. Still, the cat now had Vargas at his side to help him through. Indeed, the animal was soon fighting fit and even opened its eyes for the very first time. That was when Vargas decided to name the kitten Bagheera. From then on, Vargas and Bagheera's bond went from strength to strength. Indeed, wherever the artist went, the cat followed. The kitten would even climb onto his owner's shoulders in order to be carried around the house. Soon the pair were doing everything together. For example, they loved nothing more than curling up on the couch to watch TV. Sometimes they even sat down to eat their meals at the same table. Like most cats, though, one of Bagheera's favorite pastimes was napping. He even had an all-time favorite spot where he felt safer than anywhere else in the world: his owner's sturdy arms. In fact, whenever the pair were sleeping, Bagheera made sure that he was always right by his owner's side. Love how this little guy will reach out a single paw to maintain contact even when he's sleeping, Vargas commented on Instagram. After a few months of Vargas TLC, Bagheera was fully grown and doing better than ever. Nevertheless, he still loved to cause mischief for his adoptive dad. Working from home is not so easy with this guy around, the artist later admitted to Love Meow. Yet although Bagheera provides Vargas with plenty of distractions during work hours, he's still a hard taskmaster. For example, if Vargas tries to sleep late, he often feels a furry paw batting him out of bed. Indeed, it seems Bagheera just can't wait to see his dad each morning. We're attached at the hip, Vargas later admitted on Instagram. He follows me around everywhere I go. He begs for attention, he's very playful and friendly with everyone, and he loves it when I play with him and carry him around. So although it's safe to say that Bagheera took over Vargas' life, the artist wouldn't have had it any other way. Indeed, the owner admits that the cat has changed his world in the best possible way, despite the fact that Vargas had always preferred dogs to cats in the past. I had no idea that bringing in an abandoned newborn out of the rain that night would lead this avowed dog person to own my very first pet. A cat no less, he told Love Meow. Best decision I ever made. If you enjoyed this story, then wait for our next story starting in 10 seconds. Kids go nuts for animals. If it's got fur, a tail, and a lot of energy, chances are kids will love it. They form unbreakable bonds with dogs, cats, and other family pets. For some kiddos out there, this connection to critters even extends to stuffed animals. So when a Wisconsin woman noticed a stuffed animal all alone in the strangest place, she knew someone out there was missing their best friend. But this woman wasn't going to just give this beloved toy back. She had something else planned. After dropping her kids off at school, Brooke Fadesky, Wright, and her 12-year-old dog, Olive, were walking in Wisconsin's Elm Grove Village Park. There, she noticed something odd lying just beneath the water in one of the ponds. She recalled it was in one of the grossest parts of the pond, so she almost didn't see what looked like a muzzle and paws sticking out of the water. Worried it was an animal, Brooke couldn't just keep walking. Carefully, Brooke inched towards the water for a better look. The figure was just out of reach, and because Brooke wasn't about to wade into the murky pond to retrieve it, she found a nearby sunflower stalk and used it to drag the figure to safety. But it wasn't an animal she just rescued. Not exactly. It was a black teddy bear. He was covered in all sorts of mess, she recalled, so she picked it up, squeezed out the water, and put it in a plastic bag to take home, compelled, for some reason, to clean it up. This was one lucky bear. He had the good fortune of getting a thorough bath in Brooke's washing machine. Brooke was charmed by the good-as-new bear. I stared at Mr. Bear and just smiled, she said. Somehow, he just made my day. But now she had a mystery on her hands. As much as she loved him, Brooke knew the bear must belong to someone in the area. She posted in a buy, sell, and trade Facebook group, found this precious teddy bear in E.G. Park Pond looking pretty rough. He's getting some spa treatments and hoping to find his owner. One Facebook user saw the post later that day and couldn't believe her eyes. She knew the bear well, she could have picked him out of a teddy bear lineup. But even more importantly, she knew its story. See, Catherine Antjack and her 2-year-old son, Henry, loved to frequent the Elm Grove Village Park in Wisconsin during the day. On their walks, Henry always brought along a special friend. Who was this lucky buddy? A stuffed black bear named Blueberry. As Catherine later explained, he does everything with him, so it was understandable that the bear would be in Henry's arms while they were at the park. One fall day, Catherine and Henry took their usual route and ended up spending some time by the pond. It was proving to be a lovely day until suddenly, Henry was frantic. "Blueberry, where are you?" Henry cried over and over again. That's when Catherine realized that Henry wasn't holding the bear anymore. She looked on the ground around them, but Blueberry wasn't anywhere to be seen. They retraced their steps and looked all over the park. Catherine hoped they would find him, but the black bear was just gone. They later left empty-handed. Catherine said, "I pretty much gave up hope after that." 3 weeks passed and there was still no sign or word regarding the missing bear, until Brooke went for a walk. Catherine's sister was the one who spotted that aforementioned Facebook post. "I was like, oh my gosh, it's Blueberry," she recalled. "I think my heart skipped a beat." She reached out to set up Blueberry and Henry's reunion. Being a mother, Brooke knew what stuffed animals meant to kids. She wanted to make a journal to give to Henry, along with Blueberry, so he knew where Blueberry was all this time. She didn't want him to think his bear abandoned him, so she made a book called The Adventures of Blueberry and Henry, which she hoped would chronicle Blueberry's time away from Henry, so he didn't feel abandoned. "After I got lost in the park a while ago," the book began, "I made some friends with a duck family. They were nice, but I was still hoping I'd get back to you." That must have been comforting for Henry to hear. Details, anecdotes, and photographs filled the book, shedding light on Blueberry's journey home. Apparently, without his best bud around, Blueberry turned briefly to piracy. Luckily, Blueberry left behind his swashbuckling ways and returned to his loving roots, a moment captured in this photo. He looked right at home, cozying up to Olive. Indeed, Blueberry had a wild 3 weeks. Eventually, it was time for Blueberry to go home. Both he and Henry were surely relieved. The moment the two friends reunited was as heartwarming as you'd imagine. Catherine recalled that Brooke's kind gesture was above and beyond what the average person would do. "It will be something that we always remember," she said. "It just really restores your faith in humanity." Brooke was thrilled by the reunion and hopes to transform the adventures of Blueberry and Henry into a real children's book. For now, the original story is safe with Henry's baby book and will be read to him when he is a little older.